Hey guys, my name is Aijalonwallace, and today we're going to be talking about why recruitment and staffing agencies fail. This is an interesting topic, and I definitely know we're going to get some dislikes on this video, but I guess I just want to talk about it from my experience. And failing can be a lot of ways. Just because I say, fail, like agency failing, it does not mean, based off of the success of how much money they make. They can be failing in so many various ways. One of the things I would say most importantly is, number one is culture. A lot of agencies and staffing companies, one of the main reasons that they do fail is because of the culture of the company. If the company has no culture or has no type of community when people come on board, it usually doesn't go that well or it doesn't last that long. Often another thing that you see is lack of empathy. Often a lot of recruitment agencies, have this very, Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street, they have that hard, like sink or swim mentality. It's very sink or swim. And, so that's another reason, because you have a lot of people that are going through things sometimes, or you have a lot of recruiters who weaknesses are probably not being looked upon or strengthening at all, because they have a manager who's probably like a top producer but does not have management experience at all. So I've been in a lot of situations like that, where often you see in the recruiting and staffing agency world, it's usually the top producers are made into managers. That's usually to give them titles and to make them feel important and give them more reasons to stay at a company. But that's not how it should be, because often, not always, but mostly, not often, they don't have the best management skills, and their focus is more so money and not really helping people grow. So that's one reason right there. Another thing is, people who heart is not in recruitment. Recruitment is not, it's one of those love or hate. It's no in between. You got to really be, for this 100% all in. And if you're not 100% all in, you're just not going to do well. Because, you're going to have your days, you're going to have your nights, you're going to have a lot of days where things are just not going to go as planned. And you're going to have a lot of, and it's going to be a lot of downs. It's going to be a lot of failing. And then you're going to have some wins here and there. But recruitment has ups and downs. It's recruitment, even though recruitment is all about controlling the process, a lot of things just happen at when you least suspect it. And you have to be able to roll with the punches. If you're one of those people who mentally just, feel down every time something doesn't go as planned, you're probably going to struggle, you're going to struggle really in this space. Most importantly, I think another reason is, someone who lacks the energy to do business development, and be consistent in their habits as well. If that's why it's important to have a strong team. If you're good at sourcing, it's good to have someone that's good at doing BD or business development, but it's also, you have to make sure that you are consistent. A lot of agencies tend to fail when they lack consistency, when they're not following up, when they're not, consistently posting on social media, or when they're not really, there to support one another as well. The energies are changing, the consistency is changing, and now it's really pretty much just hurting the brand of the company. So that is so, it's so important, to know that. Another thing as well is agencies, often, depending on the size of the agency, it's like, so if you're a one-person shop and you're just starting out, if you're specializing in 100 different, fields, if you're recruiting everything, you probably won't be as successful as other recruiters, depending on your level of recruitment. I believe a good recruiter can recruit for anything, but it's rare to come across people who can do that. It's very rare. And trust me, I know a lot of recruiters. That's why recruiters specialize in one field, because it's easier when you're sourcing candidates and you're talking to the same clients. But, if you're specializing in a numerous of roles, it can hurt you in so many ways, because you're putting a lot of time and energy constantly sourcing in different fields and different directions. Just to say, hypothetically, you're working in nursing, and then you go start sourcing for some IT roles. Depending on the position, sometimes for nursing roles with some of my jobs, I can personally find nursing candidates way much faster. Depending on the level and the type of IT role, it can take me hours sometimes, even a day or two, depending on how hard it is, especially if my client needs government security clearance as well. So if you're specializing in a numbers of different fields, it can hurt you in so many ways, and it can hold you back. Another thing as well is presentation and branding, and so if you are a staffing and recruitment agency, you need to make sure your image looks well, your website looks clean, your social media platforms are consistent, all the banners are the same, you're consistently posting content, you're getting your name out there, but you need to look good across the board. You need to make sure you look clean as well. Pictures, face photos, like smiling, making sure you clean up your pictures on Facebook, go back to your activity log, try to delete some of those old photos. Presentation is key. How you present yourself is everything. You don't have to wear a suit, but you just want to make sure you look presentable, you look clean, and you look like a professional at the end of the day. So that is extremely important, as well. Also, a big reason are contracts. Understanding what's in your contract, but also understanding, what you're signing, depending on when you're working with that client. You have to manage your expectations when it comes to contracts. And if you feel like you lack or struggle with reading contracts, it doesn't cost that much to hire a lawyer to read a contract for an hour. Our contracts are not like 10 pages or anything like that. We're recruiters. They usually know more to 1 to 2 pages, if anything, depending on a company. So, it's making sure you understand what's in your contract, understanding your guarantee period. So, how long you are agreeing to, offer a guarantee period to a client, guaranteeing that candidate is going to stay in that role until you have to either fill it again or give their money back, So you have to manage your expectations. You also have to manage your expectations when working with certain clients. A lot of recruiters, because they're so new, or staffing agencies where they're not getting that many jobs, they tend to take on any client. All money is not good money. Everything that glitter is not gold, So, it's extremely important for you to understand that, when you are talking to a client, you do your research. Look at the size of their company. I don't want you to get burnt. Also, does the budget match up with the job title? If you're recruiting for a senior engineer and the hiring manager only has $100K for the salary, realistically, you're not going to find someone that good unless you go like overseas. If say you work with a client in the US and they want to hire a senior software engineer for $100,000, that's not realistic. So you have to manage your expectations, and it's probably best for you to walk away from that job. You can explain to the client that you're going to need a higher budget, but if you're not willing to go high, you're just going to waste your time and energy trying to find the impossible, especially if you're not willing to adapt or hire someone that's remote or overseas, because like I said, that's just unrealistic salary expectations. So it's so important, that you guys understand these weaknesses and acknowledge them as well. Be open to talking about them. It's just so important. In my last job, in my last agency, we had some ups and downs, but we were really open to talking about what the things that we were struggling with, and it helped us become a better team. So if you are a recruitment agency, a startup agency, or if you're working by yourself, it is extremely important to, write down what are your weaknesses, write down how are you going to strengthen them and how you're going to make it better. But most importantly, it's because it's going to help you be consistent. It's going to help you, save time moving forward. Another big thing for me, and why I feel that, this is like, I guess, more personal, but, a lot of team meetings. I feel that, when you have a million meetings, especially the recruitment agencies usually do, they have like team meetings, they have manager meetings, just a meeting. It's just so many. It takes a lot of energy away from that recruiter being motivated or inspired because they feel like they're having countless meetings when they can actually be working and making money and just making things happen. But you see a lot of staffing agencies, often, these meetings are a form of micromanaging. And, that's something that you don't really want, to have in the agency, because usually that leads to high turnover. And also stressing out your employees as well. Micromanaging, it's just it's one of the reasons why I left, just the 9-to-5 world. But I don't do well with micromanaging. But some people do need to be micromanaged. But you see a lot of staffing recruitment agencies failing in that side of things as well, because they feel like, a lot of managers feel like they need to micromanage it because they were trained and taught that way. And, they don't understand that there's a new day and age of working, so that's, extremely important. What's most important for me as well is office space, your environment. If you are working from home, set up your office. You see, you guys, this is my home office. When COVID happened, pretty much I usually work in a co-working space like a WeWork, but when COVID happened, I had to set up my office. Got my little flowers, got my little lights, got some checkerboards, good to go. Cameras, everything is set up. But your space, your energy. I remember my boss, I love her to death. But my last boss that I worked for, she knew that I hated the idea of working in the office. I never even worked in our office. When I first joined the company, I always worked down in a cafe or a coffee shop. But she knew that I hated office. I hated the idea of working in a cubicle or working at a desk. I just didn't believe in it, And when she went out to start looking for a new office, she was going all around town. This is why I love her. She was going all around town to try to find me an open space office, because I was her top biller. And it's so important for you guys to understand, your energy in the environments that you want to work in if you're going to be successful. It's so important. I mean, even like just as simple as having a clean desk, having a clean office. If you have a messy desk, you're going to have a messy day. You have a messy room, you're going to have a messy day. You want to be in an energetic, a cool, uplifting environment, because it definitely does a lot to the mental process. So it's extremely important that you guys have a good environment to be in, to make sure you're productive and hitting your goals throughout the day. Energy is everything in this field. But it's so many reasons, guys, to why recruitment agencies and staffing agencies fail. But the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to have discussions? Are you going to be honest with yourself? Are you going to strengthen your weaknesses? Are you going to have a open forum, open, door policy where your staff can come to you and talk to you about things that they would like to change or things that they would like to see get done, or having a discussion on the 9-to-5. Should we probably get our employees to work from 7 to 3? Should we have Fridays off? Should we have weekends off? Should we have more working from home? What's going to make you more productive? What's going to make you be even twice as better at your job? We need to start having those discussions in order to move forward and, with our agencies and build our businesses. Guys, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more content like this, let me know. I need you guys to comment below, because I'm trying to, of course, continue to give you guys gems, continue to give you secrets, and I want you all to win. I do have a course as well, so if you are looking to start a staffing recruitment agency, make sure you hit the link below, set up a call with me, and look, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys soon.